Hello, my name's Melody. Welcome to Seasonal Designs and DIYs. On my channel, I make home decor pieces that can fit into almost anyone's budget using mostly Dollar Tree items. Hope you enjoy. Let's go make something. Today I'm going to be making 3 shelf sitters using these wood words from the Dollar Tree. They're actually made out of MDF. They're quite thick and actually nice to work with. 1 paint stir stick, I'm going to sand it down, and then I'm going to cut off where it starts to round for the handle using my miter shears. I do have to cut this about 4 times, but then it breaks off fairly easy. I'm going to sand down that edge and make it smooth. These stir sticks come with rounded edges, corners, so I'm going to just round off the corners that I cut to make them match the other end. And then using my Waverly chalk paint in plaster, I'm going to give everything a pretty good coverage. Using my blow dryer to make it dry faster, making sure I get into all of the holes and little crevices. I'm going to flip it over, paint the front. The reason I'm painting the front is because the wall decals have a clear film, and I wanted to make sure that it was white behind wherever it shows through. And then I'm taking my Waverly Wax and Antique, and I'm just going to dry brush over my paint stir stick and my word sign. Just giving it a good distress. Just cleaning up my edges. Now I had already kind of measured this decal and cut it to the length of the sign, the word. So I'm just figuring out my placement here. And then I had this other piece left, so I didn't like how the F of family was so white. So I'm just going to lift up on that and place that right underneath there, lining it up where I want it. I didn't want that straight edge to show. I'm just trimming away a little bit. Press it down real good. Once again, picking up a little piece there. I wanted most of the sign, the word sign covered. I was real happy with this. Now I'm just going to getting my cutting mat, and I spilled my water for the rinsing of my brushes there. I'm just going to press down, flip it over, and then I'm going to use X-Acto knife. I couldn't think of what it was called. My X-Acto knife, and I'm just going to go around and trim around. This is a tedious process. I'm not going to make you sit through all of that. Now I'm using a fingernail file just to go around the edges, just to clean up anything that I missed on my X-Acto knife. Now I'm going to take my super glue gel and my wood glue. I'm just trying to figure out where I want this on this stir stick. The reason I set this on a stir stick was because it only touches in like 2 small spots on the bottom of this word sign. So I wanted it to be more stable when it was standing or up on a shelf. And that's it for this one. The next one, we're going to move over to the hello sign, which I also got at the Dollar Tree. I'm going to paint all around the edges of this sign in my Waverly chalk paint in Elephant. I really don't want to get any paint on the front of this sign. As you can see, I have a piece of tissue paper with almost a ticking stripe or some kind of, it reminded me of a farmhouse ticking stripe. And it's very thin, so I'm going to paint the front of my sign in plaster. That's also Waverly chalk paint. I'm just paying close attention and dragging my brush off the edge so it doesn't get any paint on the elephant paint. And there it is. I think it looks cute like this. But the tissue paper is going to add a lot of detail. Using my blow dryer, I'm just going to make sure that it's dry. And I'm using some Mod Podge. And once you get it all covered, I'm just lining up that striped pattern to the bottom of my sign. And then I'm just going to gently rub the wrinkles out of the tissue paper. Very gently. You see I'm dabbing. As this sits, it gets damp from the Mod Podge and it will tear very easily, so just be careful. Now I'm going to dry it. And then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to cut off the bulk of this tissue paper that's left. Anything that I don't really get it as close as I can, anything I don't want there. And you'll see why here in just a minute. You also want to make sure that you go up into the scroll of the font. You also want to make sure to poke holes in anything that is like in the O and the E. And then I'm going to take this lighter and I'm going to let the flame do all of the work. I love this technique. It turns out beautifully. It does discolor around the edges from the flame, but I actually like that look. And it's that easy. I just take a chippy brush and brush away any of the ash that's left. And then if I've gotten any mist spots, I'll go ahead and hit those. And I'm going to Mod Podge over top of it just to seal in that tissue paper. Quick hit of the blow dryer just to make sure it's dry. I actually love this one. It's so cute. I was just showing you that discoloration there. And the third one is from the Living Shore, or Shore Living line that they had out, the coastal theme. It says relax. I thought this would look super cute in the bathroom. I did give that a quick sand. It was cut pretty rough. I'm just taking my pen and I'm tracing out. Of course, you flip it over the wallpaper from Dollar Tree. You're going to also flip over your sign, like mirror it. And this I'm going to paint with Waverly Chalk and Mineral. This one was very difficult to paint. It had a lot of tight spots to get into. But I just used my little detail brush there to get in any small area. Once again, blow dryer to dry. I'm going to set that to the side and then I'm going to cut out the word from the wallpaper. And then I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and cut out the centers of the R, the A, anything that I couldn't just cut straight around. And the wallpaper is fairly thin. It's very easy to cut through. Then I decided, since I had started painting the front and decided I didn't need to, but then I was actually afraid that the wallpaper was so thin that you would be able to see the discoloration from the R and E from the rest. So quick paint job on that. Then take off your backing. I just lined it up. And I already had it cut out, so this was all of these are very easy beginner level projects. Just pressed it down real well. And then once again, I'm going to take my fingernail file and I'm going to just sand off any edges. I also had to grab a piece of sandpaper to get into those very tight areas and the curves, but it all worked out. Here they are, your final reveal. Please like my videos and leave me a comment. Let me know what you would have done differently or which one was your favorite. Subscribe if you haven't. Thank you.